So we're gonna chit chat again today. Getting ready with Marissa. Oh my god. So yeah, like I had crazy freaking dreams last week. Holy
Oh my gosh, me
yeah.
too. The craziest dreams. Some of them, like when I woke up, I was like, "What the frick was that?" But I couldn't even like get them out in word. Like, there's no way I
I
could
know.
like write them down, or like it was just like, "What did I just dream?" But there's no way I could like even like comprehend them in my human mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The weird okay, so one of mine I'll tell you really quick because I
except
mean
for one. You tell me this one, I have to tell you, you're gonna laugh your ass off. Keep on going.
it was like I asked a question. You know how you can set the intention to like get answers from your guys. You're like, and I set the intention like, hey, where am I supposed to go with my life? You know, like I feel like I'm in this holding mode. Like, what the freak? I'm ready to go, go, go. And I feel like something's holding me back. I don't understand it. So I was like, what do y'all want me to know? I'll be daggone if I didn't go to sleep. When I woke up, I don't know how many times, but every time I would go back to sleep, I continued to dream. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. I would wake up and then I would try to like transmute density. I was like, oh my God, something's probably messing with me in the astral. So I was, transmuting light and all the things, but then I kept going right back where I left off. And I'm like, I think I'm astral traveling. Like, this is weird, right? So I was in the same place that I'm at right now in Tennessee, and I had built a fortress around where I'm at, and it was like I was gated. Okay, like I had all my necessities were inside. I had a garden, everything, but everything was contained inside this wall. But this wall was like you couldn't even see through it. Okay, so fast forward, all of a sudden we decided to open up the gate to come outside the gate, and my dad comes flying up here, and because he lives like right, I could see his house from where I'm at. We all live on the same property. So he comes flying up here in his truck and he's like, get prepared. They're coming. They're coming. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And next thing I know, I hear screaming and hollering. So I shut the gate. I go up. I have apparently somebody to look over my fence. And up in the corner, there's like these people and they're like savages, right? Like barely have clothes on and they got torches and they're coming after us. And I'm like, what the freak? And it's almost like I had a sense like they were cannibalistic and like dark whatever. And then I woke up and I'm like, the hell was that about, right? Then I transformed to being on a freaking boat, and I'm driving my husband's dump truck, and I'm the only one, and I had to climb up this little ramp to get off this boat, but the ramp that to get over to the actual other side was iced, right? And it was snow. And I was like, oh my God, I got 6 wheels. I can just gun it and I'll make it. So I gun it and try to make it over to the other side, and I couldn't, right? And so my instinct was like, screw this crap. I jump out of my vehicle and I run. And I'm having to hold on because they made it slippery so you can't get to the other side. And I make it and I wake up and I was like, okay, y'all, what the heck is all of this about? You know what I got?
What?
The first stream was showing me how the matrix works because we have been inside this safety net. We kind of like contained ourselves inside the box, and every time we come out there's a fear tactic, so it can come in different forms. Okay, so
That just like sparked something in my head. I just don't know what it was.
but they're creating some kind of illusion or some kind of something to bring us back into fear, so it makes us go back inside the box. And I was like, so that is a really cool depiction, right?
Have we ever? That's what's happening. I'm having deja vu. What the? I'm like, okay, keep on going. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Deja
so
vu. My
yeah,
my crown's tingling.
yeah. So that was like just showing like a picture of how we are so afraid to come outside the box and see what's on the other side to live. So we keep staying inside the box, and every time we come outside, some kind of like psychic attack, you can call it like that, something's coming to get us. Okay. Now the other dream was they said this is why you have to just be the light and not talk about the light. And I was like, huh? What does that mean? And they said, because I got out of the truck and I walked and I left everything behind. They were like, sometimes you got to be the only one to do it. Sometimes you got to leave all your crap behind and you have to go into the unknown. And I was like, well, I just knew I had to get off this boat. Right. And they're like, be the example. You have to be the leader. Lead and they will follow. Like, you have to show them that you don't have to be inside the vehicle to get across to the other side. Oh God, that can be even more deeper. But anyways, you don't have to be in the vehicle to get to the other side. You just got to do it, right? Like, go, no fear. Even if the circumstances seem too dang scary, just do it. And
this is like with my like she's like, wow, this is,
isn't that crazy? And it's all like about what we're doing right now, but it was in a different setting. Like, I'm like, whoa, mind freaking blowing.
I want to know. Wow. So what do you think with the be the light, not share it? What do you?
So I took it as, you know how we're always trying to wake people up and we're trying to give them words to wake up.
Uh-huh.
I could have stood there and I could have been like, hey, y'all need to follow me. Y'all need to come on. Just come follow me. Just trust me. You know, blah, blah, blah. Words, yak, 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 yak. Just do the dang thing.
You know what?
Guide them.
What that makes me think of is like in and I've never even, I mean, besides when I was in treatment, they had like AA, but it wasn't like, I don't know, like real AA. I don't know how to describe it. It was really makeshift. Anyways, yeah. But I've seen on like TV shows, they talk about, there's a specific one, I don't know what it was. Was it Dickie Roberts? Anyways, there's this movie talking about, or show that was talking about, maybe it was even Shameless, I don't know, talking about in recovery that you don't get other addicts to come into AA or to recover by telling them how great it is. You show them by your recovery, by your journey, and by how, like, by showing how much you've grown and how good life is after.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same concept, right? And how many times have we been told, like, don't wake up the others, it's not your job, you know, because they have gods and they've got a higher self, you know, they've had so much access just like we have, and we chose to wake up. So it's a choice, which is the same thing as they have to choose to get out of the car to just take the leap to run up the hill and get out of the snow.
So I mean, mine was very spontaneous. So I mean, is that, I mean, technically it's our higher self choosing? Because I mean, I would have chosen, if I saw where I am now a year ago, I would have chosen it. But like, if I knew like a month ahead or 2 months ahead, I've been like, oh hell no, oh hell no, I'm not doing that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I look at where I've came and how, like, I was so caught up in the fear. And I was so deep in the matrix, like, you know, materialistic, thinking that I had to prove myself, prove my worth, you know, all the things. I am no different from any other person. But now it's like this journey of, like, it's a whole new self-discovery of myself. I don't even know who I am. I find out more and more of who I truly am, but just not caring anymore, you know? Like, letting go of the control, letting go of procrastination and perfectionism and unworthiness. Ow.
Because I'm like, feel like I'm in this middle, because I have lost in the 3D world what would seem like everything, right? Like, filed bankruptcy, lost my car, live with my parents, don't have a job, like all these different things. And to me, I was just talking to someone the other day and I was like, I don't have what would seem like anything, but it has made me believe in myself. Like, I know my worth without any of those things. And that is very, very valuable. But then there's parts of me where I still self-sabotage and I still know I need to grow in. So like the duality of life. But how did you get there? Was it that class that has helped you so much?
That's the only thing I can think of, is the class is like, open me up to another. So I don't know. It's like everything. It really, I boil it back down to, remember that time that I told you that I was sitting here and I was like, okay, it's like I came to a place of surrendering. So I just finally, I said, you know what? I give up. I'm tired of fighting. I don't know what I'm doing. So I need help. And I started automatic writing one day. And then I ended up get to a point like I couldn't read my writing. And then I wrote, just press record. So I knew that my higher self was ready to come through. And I gave you that analogy where she showed me the mountain and I was trying to climb, people were pulling me back. And my higher self said, until you decide to show me, not just say, but you have to show me you trust me and you trust the universe and you go into the unknown without any goals, any like drop all of it. Go into it. And when you get to the top, you're going to know that everything that you've been wanting is going to be on the other side, but you got to make it.
This is crazy because this is kind of what has happened to me the last couple. Oh my gosh, this is so nuts, wild. Oh, wow. Okay.
The thing is though,
but not as cool as yours.
Well,
not communicative. It's
the same thing, but like I got mine in a vision, right? And so, but the thing is though, when you're on the top, so guess what? Being on the top though, you can see everything and it's still going to be a test. Oh, you can see my smoke. But it's like it was so profound and there was so much in this one vision. It's almost hard to put into words, but it was like there's these doors that are right there. Okay. So I envision that, I've got people, I've got energy because my thought forms, and if I get low vibrational, you can always attract more entities. So it's like keeping myself clean and clear. But as I get to the top, just getting to the top still is not proof. And so it was like there's doors, and she gave me, or it, whatever it was, gave me a golden key and said, you're going to be presented with opportunities and they are all going to lead you somewhere, but there's one that is like more, that's going to give you more than you can ever imagine. And it's the one with the golden key. And that if I really tapped in, and this is kind of like, I think it's going to be a test for me to feel into these opportunities. I just felt that in my gut. I have to feel into these opportunities to go, which one is going to be for my highest good? Because there are no wrong choices. Maybe some harder lessons that can be learned through, it's all going to work out. But the fact that I made it to the top is not the end all be all. Like that was just part of, okay, now I've stepped into the unknown. I don't know where I'm going. I surrender what my path is going to be. Now what? And so I feel like apparently I'm still working towards, like I might be up top, but like my doors haven't shown up yet because things are still working out in the background in the divine plan of whatever. But it's still annoying though, because I'm like, okay, now what?
Yeah, right. You're like, okay, come on.
Do so much, I can do hypnotherapy. I could do, intuitive energy healing, and I can do coaching. And it's like, I can do all these things, but like, what do I do with them? I don't know. And I don't know how it's going to look. And so I'm just kind of staying open. So I'm trying to, actually, I'm not trying. I am literally not having any goals for once in my lifetime. And I think it's part of the learning process of like proving that I can still hold that vibration of no expectations before the doors are presented. So I'm in this I'm kind of like in this test mode. I feel like I'm being tested to see if I can, when everything has been ripped, like I have no income coming in, I am kind of like in this stuck mode, this hermit mode, and I'm ready. I feel like I'm about to bust,
Same.
And it's like, what is coming? And it's like, but it's drop all the stuff and just go through it. And that kind of is what healing is, right? You can't go around it, can't go under, you can't go above, you got to go through it. So it's like, we're in this, gosh, people talk about the eye of the needle. It's kind of what it feels like, right? Like we're going through the eye of the needle, and it's like, crunching in. What do we do?
Well, mine's a little more structured, but not, if that makes sense. And I wonder if it ties into yours at all.
I don't know. Tell me.
Okay. Let me let me hurry. I literally just have to do this real quick and then I'll be done because I need to give you my full attention. Mine's more like, hey, here's a little an opportunity, but don't make this the end goal. Like, don't have expectations.
Yeah.
Like, go in there with a open heart and any possibilities that just not to have any expectations really, and to yeah. Okay, here we go.
That makes sense because when we have all these expectations and goals, we're actually limiting ourselves because we're only thinking in 3D, and we can actually be a lot more than that. We just don't remember, right?
Right. And that's what they were saying, is that like
and clarifying, we mean they as in like our gods and higher self, like our intuition, just clarifying that, because we say that a lot.
Yeah,
it's just our inner guidance. That's what we're referring to. So it's not like some woo-woo thing speaking.
Yeah. With that being said, that if I only have my eye on the prize, I'm gonna miss all of these other opportunities that could be possibly better, that like I just won't even have my eyes open for it, even though it could be all of them.
Right.
So here we go. A little blush, give me a little color, and then I'll be done.
Yeah, it's been whew, I tell you, like I've had some very vivid dreams too, and I'm like, holy crap. I actually had a dream that this was weird. So I had a dream where I was back in my house in South Carolina, and my brother just died, and he died the exact same way that he just died a year ago. Same exact way. He was doing drugs and he got cancer. Same exact way. Weird though. I'm sitting there talking to a guy because I was like, when I woke, how you wake up in the dream and become conscious. You're like, whoa, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And I noticed I had on the guy I was sitting next to had on a suit. And when I looked at this dude, I was like, holy crap, I know you. What are you doing in my dream? He was a guy that was married to my friend that I just met like 3 years ago. And they got divorced, right? But I looked at him and it was like I seen him in his eyes and I was like, oh my God, Brian, what are you doing in my dream? Right. And so it kind of startled me awake. But of course, he didn't look like the Brian that I know now. So I'm sitting there, and the next thing I know, this woman starts talking to me, and she's married to my brother. But then I recognize her as a client of mine that I did a session on like 3 years ago. What in the heck, right? And I was like, what are you doing here? So again, it's like startling me awake, being very conscious in this dream. And then I look down at myself and I'm like, holy shit, I'm a dude. And I was like, whoa, because I had on a suit. And I was like, I'm a guy. Okay, I am in a parallel. Okay, what am I doing here? And so the amount of time that I was conscious in this dream, I realized that my younger brother in this life was a girl in that life. So he and I had switched roles in that parallel. And he was married to Brian, who is actually married to a friend of mine in this life. Like how we're all intertwined, as in soul family. Like they were showing me soul family, and how these people that are in my life right now have always been in my life in other lifetimes, or as in parallels, because I don't know how all this works, you know what I mean? And I was like, holy crap. So, here it is, this same exact life is playing out, and I'm in Tennessee now, but I used to live in South Carolina. We were still in South Carolina in that life, and all these people were in that particular lifetime. But my brother died the same way. And I think it was to show me, because my brother has been coming up so much. I've been getting 143 every time I turn around, because that's his sign of saying I love you, because he couldn't speak at the very end. So he would do 143. And that was him saying I love you, because he had a hole in his throat. And so he's been coming through a lot. And I've been seeing, like, he had a white Kia. God, what is that thing called? Anyways, he had this white Kia, and I've been seeing white Kias everywhere. And I'm like, dude, why are you coming through? And then I had that dream about him, and he died the same way. And I was like, oh God, are you trying to tell me that that was your destiny? Like, you chose to die that way? You know what I mean? It was kind of like confirmation, like, let me go. I'm okay.
Oh,
I chose to
that's
die that way. Like, it made total sense. And I was like, oh my God. It's just crazy. So if you want to know, by the way, you set an intention before you go to sleep, and you ask a question. Don't ask too much, because good Lord, you might see it all and it doesn't make sense. So set an intention like you want to see.
but not too vague either, because then you get messages that you can't put together either. So
Exactly.
you have to have
Yes.
a little bit of both.
And word to the wise, this is something that I've learned to write down your question, because sometimes when you go to sleep, you forget what you asked. And then you're like, why the hell did I just dream that? And it doesn't make any sense. And then you have to go, oh crap, what did I say before I went to bed? Because it's all about intention, and they will answer you. So your guides will show you stuff. So I've had to be a lot more like conscientious about, okay, set the intention. What do I want to know? And I've got where I've even asked the same question multiple nights in a row, so that I get multiple ways of getting the same answer. So they'll show me one way, and then I'm like, I don't know if I got that. So I'll see it again in another way, and then I'll see it again. So, if you want more clarity, you get a message and you're like, was that a message or was that something else? Then if you don't get it, that is where you set the intention to ask again and do it again. Just saying. Dreams are crazy.
Dreams are so crazy. Speaking of dreams, I'm gonna tell you this funny dream I had the other night.
Oh my
You're gonna laugh.
Okay.
Sorry for the mess in the background. We'll get into that.
That's cool. Looks like you're moving. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Figure.
Okay, so we'll get into my
We'll end this video on the dream thing, and then we'll start a new.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
tell me
my
your dream.
So in my dream, I had a dream. I was traveling with my sister. We ended up at a Wendy's. When we're at this Wendy's, there's like a ball pit there, and it was like a really weird Wendy's, but there was a lot of people there. And we work our way to the back, and I meet three people that look very much alike. One very much older, two look just like him, but younger, and actually good looking, which is not something I'd ever admit. Guess who this person was? Trump.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
I would never guess that.
Right? Especially
Another
for me. It was Trump. Yep, it was Trump. And I went up to him and I told him, I don't know what I told him. Like, I can't remember, but whatever I told him, I know it was about like loving people and like love thy neighbor, just like love and light. And the way he took it, it was like I almost feel like it was more like telepathic, honestly.
Uh-huh.
And it was like I could feel that he knew what I like. It's like he could feel what I was feeling. My head's tingling, which is something I don't know if I've told you this, but my head's been tingling and my butt. Like
your root and your crown.
yes, both of them like crazy. And then my right thigh too. My left a little bit, but my right more. And anyways, so he was like got my number down and he was like, I have to work with you, and was like just like astounded by like this feeling he had. It wasn't even what I said, it was just the feeling that he felt. It was like the epiphany to him. It was so cool. Okay, so then I've had other dreams. Like my dreams, there was a point where I wasn't dreaming or remembering my dreams for like a month.
Yep, me too.
And then they've come in so wild the last like weekish, yeah. And that one was probably like the start of remembering them. there was another one that I told you with the when I chat GPT'd it.
Mhm.
Um, but okay, sorry, I just got a call, but I'm gonna have to text him and tell him I'll give him a call later. Because he talks forever. Okay, so then I had a dream last night, and oh my gosh, the way that this all intertwines, I just wonder, because when you're in it, you don't know, but then you like always wonder, like, is this meant to be? Is this because your brain just like goes overload, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and anyways, so I had a dream last night about this girl on TikTok, and she was like my teacher. The part that really, that all was kind of irrelevant as of right now, but there was like a part where I was in this school, and everybody was outside. There was this room, and people were taking tests in this room. But these people that were taking tests, it's like they had like it was like it was a timed test, and you had to finish this test within this time, but they were like refusing to do the test, but they had to stay in that room until the test time was done, if that makes sense. But they were refusing to take the test, and we weren't allowed in there. They weren't allowed out until, but like it was like I was outside the room, but I knew what was going on inside. Weird.
Yeah.
And it was people, there was probably about like 12 people, but some of the people were like people in my past that like kind of held me back from my potential in like middle school and high school.
Yeah.
This is weird. And it was like this control thing with this test. It was like they locked everyone else out, and everybody knew that these people were not like, they were refusing to take the test, and they knew that they were just waiting it out. They're just like, well, we're not taking the test. It was like they, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much other than that, but I was just like, this is so weird, like this must mean something.
What if, what if, okay, this just popped in my head. So I don't know. What if
Well,
those that are asleep are being tested? The reason you were outside is because you were already in the process of the awakening, right? And these people that were inside being tested, because we are being tested right now in different capacities. And the refusal is like they're refusing to wake up from their hypnotic state because they're just like, I don't want to do this. They don't want to wake up to who they truly are, but they're in this controlled environment because the higher self's like, wake up, this is your last chance. If you don't do this,
I just got chills.
yeah, that's what just popped in my body, like no,
Whole
in my
body
mind.
chill.
It's like, because we're almost there. Like and I say almost, that still could be 10 years from now, but like we're getting so close that, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, are we in this dormancy right now? Because we're literally about to pop out, and like where we are is determining if we're going to go 4D, 5D, right?
Right.
And so this is like, this is their last opportunity. If they don't break outside this box and wake up from their hypnotic state, this is their test. So God knows what they're going through right now, right? Because it's showing up in different formats in their awakened state. Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's crazy.
I don't know, but that
No,
would be,
that
I
makes
don't know.
so much sense. Especially
Yeah.
the other day, and I was like, said something, and she was like, I don't care to wake up. Like I'm fine with this life. Like I don't care to like know more, all this. I'm gonna go grab my water, but I don't have pants on, so
But we're gonna end this one.
okay.
Hope you enjoy.